Today we're really going to look at what it truly means to be a visionary in your business and how you actually embody that role so that you can scale your business, so that perhaps you can scale your business to 6 figures with ease. And much of what I'll be sharing today is really around the qualities and the traits of a yogipreneur who has shifted into this role of the visionary in their business. And you might call this the CEO, but I actually believe that it's more than that, because there's a certain energetics involved here that when you're embodying this role of the visionary, you're being the visionary in your business, you're actively, intuitively and uniquely leading your business forward so that you can create this legacy that you want to create, and so that you can create cash flow magic, right? The magic cash flow. And it's key to be able to create cash flow, because new levels of success means new levels of wealth. And so a really important question to ask yourself as you start to level up and you start to expand your business and your community and your offerings, a great question to ask yourself is, are you at ease with wealth, with financial abundance, right? Are you at ease with that? Because quite often, especially as we're growing, we're putting everything out there and we're finding ourselves on this kind of roller coaster, this revenue roller coaster, where the amount of money that you're making each month is fluctuating. It can make you feel quite ungrounded, right? It can make you feel ungrounded. You just don't have that security. The financial security is missing. And so part of embodying the visionary, being the visionary, is about unlocking this financial abundance. And it really requires you to identify as someone who has this strong money energy, right? Someone who is destined for wealth, like you're on that path for financial abundance, and this financial abundance is coming with ease. So do you see yourself as someone who consistently attracts and receives better opportunities, greater amount of money? Or do you view yourself as someone who's still working this out, like still struggling to move past that roller coaster that I mentioned, the roller coaster of monthly revenue where it's, fluctuating up and down? Are you perceiving yourself as being in that situation? Like, how are you perceiving yourself and viewing yourself right now in your situation in relation to the financial side of things and wealth? If we look at this, if we really look at the heart of this and, really get to the root of this, which of course is what we want to do, and how we can unlock this so that we can level up, so that we can, receive, so that we can become the visionary. It's really about this existing identity that you have right now and how tightly you're clinging to it. Are you identifying yourself as the visionary, the CEO, or are you identifying yourself as a yoga teacher? As I said at the start, most yoga teachers I speak to struggle to identify as a business owner. Like, that's one step in itself, isn't it? Going from being the yoga teacher who perhaps has been teaching in studios for a number of years. Okay, let's do a rewind. If we think back pre-2020, many of you had been teaching in studios for years, and all of a sudden you found yourself on your own. You had to make that shift and that transition online, which really meant becoming a business owner, even though you were already a business owner. Teaching in a studio, you were already a business owner because the studio wasn't employing you, right? You had your accounts and your business set up and did your own taxes, all of that. You were already a business owner. But many yoga teachers weren't seeing themselves, most yoga teachers weren't seeing themselves as the business owner. So even making that transition, that shift is step one, isn't it? It's one step. And now what I'm talking about today really is about leveling up even more. You know, this visionary is scaling their business, right? This visionary is already successful in their own rights. This visionary has a community, you know, has online offerings, courses, programs, memberships that they've launched before. So they already have a vision, right, for their future, for this legacy that they want to create. And they're open to having, and this is really key as well, it's this willingness, right? It's this willingness to be open to, you know, having your whole way of thinking and doing things challenged by someone who has already mastered this visionary frequency. It's this willingness to expose yourself to something new. And when you do that, something magical happens. Like you start seeing things in ways that you've never seen them before. And, you know, it's like a gateway to a whole new world of possibilities just opens up, and you start to realize that this new way of thinking and this new way of doing things is the way to go, and it can become your new normal. Like when you do this, and what I'm describing right now is this leveling up. It's this leveling up, and it's like a light bulb moment when that happens. And, you know, that's really when the real magic kicks in, because now you're taking things to a new level. You know, you're up-leveling your game and your experiences and your results. When you're making these transitions, it is the time to really envision your business in a new way and to start doing things differently. Yeah, you do things very differently from when, let's say, you know, you're just in the beginning and you're just starting to grow and to build your community. And there's really a certain mindset that comes with being this visionary. Part of it is around the decisions that you make in your business, you know, and what you're telling yourself to be true about your business. When you're already deciding something, okay? So when you decide that your business feels easy, or when you decide that you're already thriving, like you decide that you're on the right path already, and you decide that you're showing up, you're already serving your community, and you're going to keep going, and you're not going to give up. Like these are all decisions that you can make in your business, and they're definitely things that, you know, you have 100% control over. Like you can control how much you show up online, for instance. You know, how much you reach out to your community, how much you know, spend time building your network. Like no one else makes those decisions but you. And so those decisions are they're really like an energetic investment into your business, like wherever you're at, whether you're just doing your first launch, let's say, and you know, your goal is to make 5 figures, or you are further on in your business and you're doing really well and now your goal is to make 6 figures. Like don't fear these words. There's nothing to fear, because if there's anything coming up when you're thinking about making money, it's showing you that there's some work to do around your money mindset. And the visionary, if we go back to, you know, how to think and act and behave like a visionary in your business, you want to celebrate that. You want to celebrate those triggers when they come up, because that's the work, right? That's the work of being an entrepreneur. And, you know, what I've found as I've scaled my own business is that it's really about this energetic component, I guess, that's combining the masculine, right? The strategies, the doing, the implementation, and the feminine, which is, you know, the way I see it, around receiving support. So building a team, being in this mindset of ease, you know, allowing the events in your business to unfold because you trust, right? You trust that you are doing the work, right? You're doing the work, and also you've decided that you're already thriving, you've already made that decision, but also, and this is key, you're not attached to this outcome, right? Because you know that it's happening. Like, you've already decided that you're thriving and this is happening. And, you know, maybe you're working on a launch and a lot can come up when you're doing a launch, right? But you've already decided that you are thriving. And if it's not this launch that's your big success, it will be the next one, because you're not going to give up, right? You're going to keep going. You're going to keep serving. And so this is really what sets apart the successful business owners and the business owners who are still on the hamster wheel, who are still on that roller coaster, you know, of monthly revenue, who are still trying to work things out. I think the combination of what I just talked about, like the masculine and the feminine, is really what supports this expansion. Like, it's not just about having one or about having the other. It's about finding a balance. And it's that really supports expansion. It's what allows you to actually embody and to be the visionary. You know, this isn't just about the mindset of how you approach different strategies in your business, but really the energy, that you're embodying. That's like you being in your power. This is definitely something I didn't quite appreciate. Like, when I first started out, I thought it was all about the best strategies, you know, and I'd been very much in my masculine for years, and it's definitely got me to where I am. But to, you know, break through the barriers and to break through new levels of success, it's about balance, isn't it? It's this balance. And so there's actually some deep work that has to be done here. You know, work that I've done with my own coaches, you know, put a mirror up and show me like these shifts that I need to make, you know, to be able to have this powerful expansion and to be able to be on this journey of expansion that I've been on. And so it's really about expanding to the levels that we think are possible and doing the work around that, being in the containers that allow and encourage that expansion, like removing the blocks and the guilt around that expansion, you know, accessing new levels of wealth. You know, there's some guilt and shame that might come up with that, you know, so it's about being aware of that and looking at, okay, how do I break through that so that I am welcoming it rather than holding back because I feel guilt or shame around making more money in my business. You know, when we make more money, we can do more things in the world. You know, money is an incredibly powerful enabler. It allows us to support our students in a much bigger way. It allows us to do some incredible work in the world. And so that really just takes us back again to the work that you know, in order to become the visionary in your business and to access these new levels, you have to do that work. Like, you have to really do the money mindset work. You know, when I think of the visionary, I think the biggest quality that comes up is their ability to envision the big picture, right? The big picture. And when you're embodying this visionary aspect, like when you are being this person and you're in this mindset, like you are steering the ship, right? You have the ability to see the big picture. You've done the work on that, right? You've done the work. You've sat down and really done the work of where you want to go. Like, what is this legacy that you're creating in your yoga business? Like, what are the long-term decisions that you need to make? And you know what you're working towards. You know, this mindset is very much about creating a direction, right? And a path for your business. And I think a good visionary keeps the end in mind. Like, they're always looking forward, never really looking back. Like, they know where they're going. You know, they're dreaming big, right? So when they are envisioning their business and what it looks like and their life, like they're envisioning their business and their life, they're dreaming big. They're not afraid to take risks, right? They're open-minded, always learning. They've got a growth mindset, always taking in new ideas, you know, from the space that they're in, but also other industries, looking at what other people are doing, figuring out how that might work in their own environment. Yeah, there's someone who's visible, they're highly visible, they're an influencer in their space. They're definitely someone who inspires others, right? They inspire others and they're able to build relationships, like whether that's relationship with their team or, you know, relationship with their students, relationships with other influencers in their space, other businesses, partners. You know, they embrace that collaboration. They really value it, actually. They value collaboration, and they, especially within their team, they're creating this environment for, or a safe space for people to really share ideas. Like that's what they really want. They value that. You know, they're encouraging their team to come to the table with ideas and be creative. That's a really key thing. You know, fostering this creativity and innovation within their team. And that links to not being afraid to take risks, right? You know, experimenting. I talk a lot about, you know, being in the laboratory, right? Not being afraid to experiment and make a mess. Know that everything that you're doing is helping you to make decisions. Yeah, I talked about that. The decisions that you make in your business. I think they're good at reinventing themselves. Yeah, that's another thing that comes through for me. But generally, just thinking outside of the box, coming up with new ideas, really creative. I mean, when I think about all that, I get excited. So you can probably hear it in my voice. When you're just starting out, like when you are just starting to build a business, you're a completely different person to that. You know, that's not where you're at. And that's okay. That's okay. You know, you're focusing on structure, you're focusing maybe on more of the kind of masculine qualities that I spoke about. You know, implementing strategies, getting these things in place, building a foundation out. You're very likely doing everything on your own at that point. So you're not really that open to receiving at that point. You're trying to figure things out, and it can bring overwhelm. You know, it brings overwhelm. It's not really knowing what's coming next quite often. You know, part of the growth that comes on this journey, let's say, is working through the limiting beliefs. Yeah, that you put up these limiting beliefs, that are putting a kind of cap on your progress and your ability to earn money and your ability to move past the roller coaster, the revenue roller coaster. And we start to realize, don't we, that we have to start acting differently and doing things in a different way. And I guess, you know, a really great example of this is building the team, right? You know, when you're just starting out, as I said, you're doing everything on your own. Like, you're doing everything in your business, you're wearing all the hats, and you can only do that for so long before it actually limits your growth. Yeah, before you get to a point where you're working on things that actually you could outsource, you know, so that you can free up your time and then move your business to the next stage. And so we do get to that point where, you know, we realize, oh, this admin task that's taking me, you know, 3 hours a week, I could actually have a VA now because I'm starting to make some money. I could actually have a VA to support me with that so that I can start working on my online course that's going to make me this amount of money. Okay, so we can offset it by freeing up the time. This is really important, you know, as business owners, particularly if you are one of these business owners that I've been describing, who wants to embody becoming the visionary, who wants to be the visionary, who wants to scale to 6 figures. Like, you have to be willing to receive support. And I think for a lot of us, this can be challenging, right? This can be so challenging. And for me personally, if I share my own story with you, you know, I grew up with this belief that you have to work hard to make money and that it's not easy to make money. And, you know, that led me to do all the things. And it meant that I was doing all the things much longer than I needed to be. You know, I do believe that you need to know how everything works in your business, right? You must have experience doing all the things, of course, because that's going to make you a better manager of your team Okay, when you're building a team, it's essential that you know all the parts of your business so that you can outsource those parts with ease, yeah, and trust that it's being done in the correct way. But, you know, looking back, if I look back at the last 6 years, I would have brought more support in much sooner, definitely. Like, it's led to periods of, you know, that feeling of being on the hamster wheel, burnout, doing too much, and it's easy to get caught up, you know, it's easy to get caught up in that, to find yourself in this kind of hustle and grind, which actually, you know, especially if like me, you've left the corporate rat race, yeah, to have this business that's going to give you freedom, it defeats the point, doesn't it? It defeats the object of that. One of the things I would, you know, encourage you to ask yourself is, what's driving you to become the visionary? What's driving you to be able to build a 6-figure business, let's say? And again, you know, embrace those words, 6 figures. Yeah, it's 8 grand a month. Embrace it. Like, it's possible for you. Embrace it. If you're triggered by it, there's work to be done on the money mindset, and that's great. Celebrate that. Celebrate that work. But what's driving you to have this, right? To be able to receive this? Are you driven by your purpose? Or is this success that you want, is it driven by fear? You know, something that is fueled by passion and intention, or is it something that's been driven by fear? Because this fear-based energy, and to kind of go full circle now actually from where we began, but this fear-based energy or fear-based success, it has a different energy. And you know what happens when fear is the driving force is it's really hard to feel satisfied with your success. Does that make sense? Because there's this like unconscious belief that or limiting belief that you don't actually deserve it, you know, and that nothing that you do is good enough, you know. So we get on this, again, a hamster wheel of achieving something, succeeding, and then it's on to the next thing. Yeah, we don't give ourselves space, time, and recognition of our successes. And so this type of ambition, you know, or driving force is about recognition, approval, seeking approval of others, being busy all the time. Like, that makes us feel important. It makes us feel worthy. Yeah, I'm speaking from my own experience here, guys. And it's really linked to your self-worth, isn't it? This kind of unconscious fear of losing everything because you don't feel deserving of the success in the first place. Yeah, it's coming from this desire to prove yourself. It's draining. It's draining. You know, what I'm describing, as I said, it was my reality. Like, they are the beliefs that I had to work through to go from 5 figures to 6 figures, and to go from being the yoga teacher to the yoga business owner, the yogipreneur, to being the visionary in my business. We need to let go of that. We need to let go of those fears if we really want to level up. You know, if we're going to lift the ceiling of our potential, like blow the cap, blow the ceiling off, because it's possible, right? It's possible. Like, when you address the mindset, the energetics, and you have the strategies there as well, you really can level up. You really can move through that bottleneck. You really can move through the resistance and be open to receiving more, you know, so you can do more, ultimately. It's important to really tap into your true purpose, you know, to really step into your, like, real authentic space, like, speak your truth. You know, share what you're really passionate about. You know, this visionary is driven by passion. Yeah, this person is driven by a desire to really express what he or she believes in. Yeah, this is the visionary who's, you know, focused on delivering value. Yeah, they're not addicted to being productive, right? They're working towards something that they really believe is going to make a difference in the world, is going to make a difference to people's lives, help people's lives to get better. Like, this is purpose, this is a purpose-driven place. You know, it's a real desire to contribute to the world. Yeah, so really connect to that. So yes, I've been talking about the visionary today, and it's no coincidence that the Visionary Mastermind is open for applications at the moment. We are almost full, super excited. Going to be starting this 10-month journey with 15 visionaries. We start on the 29th of May. Get in touch if you have any questions about it, and if you identify as this person that I've been speaking about today, then I invite you to really take a look at this program, and if it feels like a right fit for you, send in your application and we will get on a call and take it from there. Okay, loved sharing with you all today. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I'll see you next week. Okay, take care. Lots of love. Bye.